Do you have any doubts that Brock Purdy can win the Super Bowl?
No. The Niners right now are the team most guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl. While I don't think the Niners are better than the Chiefs team that beat them by 3 touchdowns when they played, the Niners' path is so much more clear than the Chiefs with the Bills and the Bengals in the AFC and potentially the Prince or the Chargers, whomever come out of that 4-5 matchup. This is the most dangerous Niners team that Kyle Shanahan has ever had. This is the most dangerous Niners team since Colin Kaepernick and Jim Harbaugh were in their heyday, and they came a pass away from winning a Super Bowl. This Niners team got exactly what they needed, which I didn't think they were going to get by having their defense have a bad game this past weekend. Because when Purdy got on this run and I looked at their upcoming schedule, I'm like, well, he's not going to have to prove anything. They play the Raiders and then the Cardinals. And the Raiders bench Carr, and the Cardinals are playing David Blau, and we're never going to see him trailing. But then we did. The defense played a poor game. They were down 10 in the second half, and Brock Purdy was out there dropping dimes. Now, he also had some lucky throws that he was lucky didn't get intercepted. But can we show the numbers, Brew? Since Brock Purdy took over for Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's pretty good.
It's not just pretty good. It is more than you need to win the Super Bowl, or at least get to the Super Bowl, if you have the best running attack and the best defense in football. And I think that's what they have. And when I say running attack, I mean not just running backs, but their running game as a whole.
Right, yep.
So absolutely, Brock Purdy can be the quarterback of this year's Super Bowl champion. There's no doubt in my mind.
I'll start by saying this. I don't think he will lead them to the Super Bowl victory. I do think the team that comes out of the AFC will win it. Now, they obviously have a chance, but Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati,
sure.
I think those are the 3 best teams in football. But, hey, if they get there, they got a shot. With that defense, with those playmakers, they have a shot. Here's the one caveat. And first of all, I don't know how Nick went through like the last decade of 49ers football and didn't mention Jimmy G.
No.
He mentions Kaepernick and didn't mention Jimmy G.
This is a better team. This Niners team is more dangerous than any Jimmy G team ever was.
And they got McCaffrey, who's the best running back they've had in a long time. But anyway,
agrees with me.
Here's the one, but you got to admit, this is the one caveat. How is Brock Purdy going to perform in the playoffs?
Well, of course.
And that's a legitimate question. We saw Jalen Hurts in his first playoff game play poorly. Kyler Murray. These are all guys obviously
with
higher ranked than Brock Purdy, and how he did. Lamar Jackson struggled even the year he won MVP. Had 2 interceptions in the playoff game, I believe it was. And Jimmy G, I'm not even trying to be funny. All right. Jimmy G, if you look at his numbers, Nick, in the regular season, the 2 years they went to the NFC title game versus the playoffs. Regular season, in 2019, he throws 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
It's terrible in the playoffs.
Right. 250 yards a game. Yeah. In the playoffs, it was 140 a game, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Essentially the same thing last year.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the what if that we have to factor in. The way they look, there's no question
I guess
that he has a shot.